Hello, my name is Madison Whiteside, and I am a student in ACI's class of 2025. For our final project, we created a space complex. This complex, based in Galveston, has 36 lots, with 6 of those lots being attributed to open space and the other 30 being buildings. Over the course of 2 weeks, my class created figure ground drawings, chose a final figure ground drawing based off of those, and made a volume study, and then made a floor plan based off of the volume study. Then we proceeded to do all of that, but in 3D. It sounds like a lot, but that's why I'm here. Our class follows an iterative design process, so initially we created 3 figure ground drawings, each based off of our principles of organization and design. For my first iteration, I did axis and centralized, my second symmetry and centralized, and my final transformation and clustered. Of these 3, I ended up going with my second iteration because I felt like it would be the most fluid design to use for the complex. You could put this design anywhere without severely altering the concept of the complex in itself. The final square footage of this design was 1,024 square feet for figure 1 and 1,152 square feet for figures 3 and 4, with F1 being the library space, F2 being the residence, F3 being the study rooms, and F4 being the maker spaces. As I said earlier, my lot is lot 16, surrounded by 2 open spaces, an aquarium, a basketball history museum, a casino, creative spaces, and photography spaces. I really enjoy the fact that my lot is near creative and educational spaces because I wanted my lot to elevate the inhabitants of it and its surrounding areas. Because of this, I have designed ample spaces for the future members of the library to learn, grow, and elevate themselves. Aside from the residents, the library has the highest building, standing at 12 feet tall. The ceilings are high because I wanted the space to feel elevated, like just by walking in, your mind would become expanded. My buildings feature a lot of windows because I wanted my lot to remain connected to nature while still keeping its modern look. To achieve this, I used terracotta tiles on the walls and added in an abundance of plants. I opened up several piers on the lot, such as a quiet study pier and a private pier in my residence. My lot also features multiple garden spaces. Aside from the terracotta and glass, I also used white bricks so that way there would be a good anchor for all of the other materials to fall back on. I did this so that way it could be more neutral, more natural, and everything else could really pop to show the warm color palette that I had created. This blend between natural spaces and modern spaces is really shown with my library exteriors and my courtyard and study rooms. My exteriors lean more on the modern side with natural colors added to reinforce the warm color palette. But inside my courtyard, the natural part really comes into play with all of the plants and all of the wood tile and texture showing. Aside from this, a more modern look is shown inside of my library interior with the warm colors and the plants really anchoring down my intentions on how the space would feel to people. My study room interior also shows this with the textures of the wood tile on the side walls and linen curtains. Everything was tied in with nature, but it still showcased plenty of modern elements. On the other hand, my most modern building is my library's interior. With this, I used a warm color palette, but most of the things inside of the library are more sleek. They have a warm, burnt sienna color to it. In the library, people would walk in and they would show their library card to the librarian whenever they check out a book. The library features posters encouraging people to read and photography that I thought was a fun touch to add because of the photography space near my lot. The library also features some books standing on the spotlight, and if you look closely, some actual books that are currently available to purchase now. One of my favorite manga is actually on the top shelf. On the other hand, my study rooms are open to the public. All somebody needs to do is just speak to the receptionist and she will see if there is a room open on one of the 2 study rooms, or you could use a study cubby or go out to the private pier. There's something at Ambrose Library for everybody. I chose to design a library because I believe that education is important. It's what makes our future. I'm still learning, so I implore you to help me develop my future with questions, criticism, anything that you can think of that would help me build on my concept. Thank you so much for watching.